Hey, this is John from StubGroup, and I am joined today by Carlos. Carlos is one of our team members here at StubGroup, working closely with our clients and managing campaigns, making sure we give best-in-class service. And I said, hey, Carlos, let's sit down. I'm curious, what's something that you're thinking about or predicting or emphasizing in 2024? And so that's what we're doing, sitting down here recording this early 2024 and kind of looking forward to the year. So, Carlos, I'm excited to hear what you've got. The stage is yours.
Sure. Hi, John. I hope everyone's doing all right. I hope you're also doing all right and had a wonderful holiday season. I myself did. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential thing that may actually seem inevitable, and we might be talking here about giving our hot takes, but some of them might be actually cold takes that we definitely need to prepare for, and because they're just further down the road. But I would also like to mention some ideas that I have that they might seem like wishful thinking, if you don't mind. So I definitely think that types will continue changing, and they will keep on focusing more on what the user needs, and Google and its machine learning and algorithm will pair that to what you are targeting, not so much based on the semantics of what you're targeting, but in the meaning of what the user actually needs. So about this, and coming back to the wishful thinking that I was mentioning, there is something like very interesting that I'm thinking of, that I think that Google should create a new match type, and I would call it, I don't know, intent match, let's say. And this way, us as advertisers, we can actually choose between sticking with the broad phrase exact as we have always been used to working, and instead of only having to figure things out with this AI-powered intent-oriented approach. So I don't know what you think about this approach, and I don't know if you think that Google is willing to have these two both type of systems. I don't know if this is asking too much for Google.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I tend to think you're right that Google's going to actually go in that direction. Probably, I think we've already seen some of this, with what broad match is currently, kind of incorporating aspects of intent into that. I think we're starting to see Google kind of message a little bit differently about broad match. As you've seen, they've got now the options to campaign level where you can kind of force all your keywords to be broad match or not. So I do think that they're kind of in that mindset of, okay, it's not as much a keyword, it's really the intent of the keyword at this point. And they'll probably be even more explicit about that, and keep changing that over time, which is awesome when they get the intent right. That's also where I want to see Google do a better job of actually understanding intent, because some of the matching that you and I get to see these days, definitely a long way to go, put it that way.
Yeah, and by looking at another direction, and now that we're talking about what we are actually seeing, I've been seeing a lot of people trying to, I don't know, maybe putting all the eggs in one basket when it comes to campaign types. And about this, PMax, what we call PMax, it's Performance Max, is definitely something that there seems to be a lot of people using as their bread and butter. But I actually defer from that. I think that it's worth and it's going to be the right way to approach campaign management, and what us as advertisers need to be implementing to achieve our clients' goals would be to have like a dynamic way of combining campaign types, like search with display and YouTube, and maybe PMax, or definitely PMax. But what I'm trying to say is that, of course, if the budget allows for it, what we should do is diversify our umbrella of possibilities for what we can offer, than just put every single egg in one basket. And this might seem like common sense, and I think that it definitely is common sense. It's what everyone should be doing. And as I was saying when we started to talk, it's a cold take, but you'd be surprised at the amount of people that would go like, oh, we have 500K. I'm exaggerating just for the sake of it, but we have 500K a month, so let's put 500K a month in only one PMax campaign. And
Yeah.
I definitely think that if the budget allows us, we should definitely have a wider umbrella of things.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think a lot of advertisers, especially let's say newer advertisers who just haven't had as much experience and maybe don't want to spend as much time figuring things out, are looking for, okay, what's the solution? What is the best practice? And the reality is that every situation is very different. And what we do for client A is often looks very different for client B because of their different markets, their goals, their business model, et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes even within the same vertical, might have two clients who are doing the same thing, but hey, one is targeting luxury items in that same space. One's targeting more cost-effective items, as an example. And so even there, the types of campaigns and strategies we're going to run are going to be different. So there's still not an easy way to run Google Ads, which is why, and plenty of bias here, but which is why I think there's so much value in agencies and experts, because we get to spend the time, see the data to figure these things out. And then we do all the hard work for you if you're hiring us to take care of those things.
What I wanted to say is that, coming back to what you just mentioned about there's no easy way of running Google Ads, I would say that there's no easy way of running Google Ads done right. But if you're just going to run Google Ads, then that is going to be extremely easy for you. So yeah, doing things right is where we come in and provide value. And to actually come back to the wishful thinking that I once again was talking about, I think that Google definitely has the infrastructure to implement this, and I think it would be pretty cool to see. Is something that I hope that it comes in, is that we as advertiser would want to have the ability of target audiences, but at keyword level, because I think that it would be so interesting to like having keywords targeting different audiences and see how audiences behave between keywords to keywords. Of course, this would add a lot of complexity to the campaign management and how campaigns are set up. But I think it's something that would be so very interesting for the testing phase and initial phase of the campaign, for when we have targeted audiences and see how data behaves. So we can, okay, for these particular keywords, let's start only targeting these audiences because that's what data has dictated. And for these other ones, well, let's not target these audiences because they did not work as fine as they did. So I think that would be very interesting.
Yeah, agreed. And if that happens, you heard it here first with Carlos and Joe. Awesome. Well, Carlos, thanks so much for sharing those thoughts. I'm excited about 2024 and what we have in store for our clients. And if you're watching this video and you want to work with digital advertising experts like Carlos and others on our team, we'd love to help. Reach out through StubGroup.com. Let's learn what you're doing, what your goals are, and how we can be of assistance. Until next time, John, Carlos, signing off.